Welcome, everybody. Here we are today on another episode of Wind, Reel, and Print. My name is Kevin.
And my name is Ryan. I hate to do, for whatever reason, because I've been doing so many episodes where it's like me and you haven't been in all of them. I was expecting you to say my name.
Oh,
I was so used to like hearing it. So, maybe
You're
I'm
like
self-obsessed.
flustered,
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait, Kevin.
like whoa.
not Ryan. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're good.
Continue.
Yeah. So yes, this is Ryan. This is Kevin.
Yes.
We're here today.
What are we talking about?
Bringing you special breaking news.
Special report
Live from the studio.
Yeah.
Just here. There's a lot of things rumbling in the film industry, particularly with Warner Brothers Discovery and a potential merger on the horizon. And we just had been talking about like these things in passing and felt like a good enough conversation for us to kind of sit and chat and kind of get some context of how we got to this point and like what this means for the potential future.
I feel like we've had a number of conversations just outside the podcast, and that's what kind of led us to want to talk about it some more. And then when you really start to look at, as we're building out, this will have been like, I think like the 83rd or 84th episode that we've recorded. So congrats to us. But I mean, through all of this, we have
so much context.
This is something we think a lot about. And we've always talked about like money in this and how intrinsic it is to this.
Yes.
To the business.
Yes.
And mergers and acquisitions are a natural kind of part of like this beast. Not saying it's good or bad in this example I'm saying right now, but it at least is part of the equation, and these things do happen, and they have definitely happened in the past.
Right. Yeah, when we look at the progression of Hollywood, this has already been happening like well before our time and before streamers like and everything even existed. So and it's been a cause of concern when that originally happened too. So this is just like a repetitive conversation that will continue to happen over and over again. Because that's just like how the industry is. But also I think it's important to maybe contextualize that it doesn't have to be this way.
That's for sure.
Like I just want that, because like I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in like this kind of feedback loop of like how fucked up the world is. That's not how the world is supposed to be. I feel like I feel like there was a world that existed where people didn't want this to happen. Yes. And like the government and everyone involved would work together to make sure that this doesn't happen.
There was like an unspoken agreement in some ways between the government and its people of like, hey, we're gonna do good for you, and these are the things that sometimes are required to do that. And that's like, because if you really want and we're gonna probably mention the big C word a few times, but capitalism, like if this is the system you want and you want it to work, you gotta put it in its place. Like that's the only way, because and like when I use the word naturally, if you let this thing just run off, it's that this is what happens. Is like it wants to constantly go funnel in this direction of monopolizing.
Yeah, so I think an important thing you're pointing to is like the ethics of capitalism, and prior to the 20th century, that was like a really big concern. And there were, I would say, like big political movements built around this kind of thing of antitrust and trying to prevent like large monopolies. When you look at like how we've come to be in the 20th century, like steel and trains and like all these big kind of monopolies popping up in the early like existence of America, we were already thinking like we don't want that, like trying to prevent these things.
Yeah.
And so like that bled into the film industry, because when you look at the beginning of the film industry, that's what was happening, was like large amounts of concentration and like vertical integration. um and so like I don't know, I just feel like, compare, maybe I'm like naive or something, but I feel like compared to today, antitrust and like speaking out against monopolies was a much more important thing, or
Yeah.
felt more of a important thing back in like the 1900 early 1900s, like in the 20s and stuff, when the Paramount Decree was kind of written in and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's always been like, someone will make a monopoly, and then there's people kind of realizing like, oh, that is not good.
Right,
And I
right,
mean, that's how, the laws should work, is like,
right,
okay, someone did something bad, we change the laws to make sure that doesn't happen again.
right,
Now we're kind of living in a time where it's like, it's all about destroying the machine.
right,
And so now we're going to see this, and it's now going to be like an even bigger thing than like the Paramount decrees from the
right,
50s were.
right.
Because now we're just making this giant beast. But yeah, I think even in the 50s, antitrust was a serious thing. And I
Yeah,
mean, it's just been slowly declining as we go, as we're just like, let's let business just kind of do their thing.
right.
And I'd rather not touch it.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, because I know been that's kind of the ideology of like neoliberalism, is like this free market thing, and like
They're all about it. Yeah.
kind of separating regulation or getting rid of regulation, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's like, I don't know when that starts or whatever, but in terms of like where we are with this and everything, like during the Obama administration, they already had started closing antitrust like department offices and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So even like before Trump, this was like something
Oh
that
yeah.
was already like starting to happen.
Yeah. I think
And all that.
Clinton would probably be the best example of like how it was starting in the more modern era that we're living in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because he was very much, especially with like NAFTA and all of these things of like free trade is in that very neoliberal worldview
mm-hmm,
of like,
mm-hmm.
we're gonna let businesses rock and roll,
Right,
and it lifts all boats or whatever. And I mean, that's coming off of Ronald Reagan saying like trickle down economics. Like
exactly.
that is the same thing here. Is like, hey, if we have billionaires, that's a good thing for the little man.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for you and me, because they create work, and we don't understand how much a billion is. Like, they don't need that. Like, imagine if they didn't have that could go to so many other things, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you could have good schools and no potholes and like awesome shit, cool parks.
And free healthcare.
Yeah. Free movies.
Free movies.
Can we get free movies?
Yo, that'd be crazy. Subsidized movies?
Yeah, subsidized movies. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Like, yes, state-run film sounds bad in some ways. It's
great.
Yeah, but
I mean,
there's a way to do it that works, which is like,
right.
You have grants and things like that. Like, right. There are ways to, like, I think people always say like, oh, government. Now I'm just getting in all this fucking shit. Yeah. But like, well, yeah. big government means less freedom, and right. I think that's the wrong paradigm to look at. Government is just an invention we came up with to do big things.
Right.
And so if a government is representative of the people, it can do things that we want to do. That's the thing, is you need transparency and all of these things, and you need it to be centered around freedom. Right. And the freedom of speech and to have these ideas. Right. And then that gets, what's the word? Like, people take that and they meld it and they change it into meaning something totally different. Yeah. And that freedom actually is like, like just trying to survive. That's the freedom that so many people want now. And that our rulers want is like, oh yeah, we're going to, you have freedom to drink chemicals in the water. You have freedom to, like the freedom actually is freedom for businesses to run amok.
Right.
And
freedom to do anything you want.
Yeah. Too bad too sad, whatever. It's just like, deal with it. Like, you can go somewhere else or whatever. When in reality, my freedom that I see is freedom from want. That's real freedom.
Okay, Buddha.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, I love things. You can look behind me in my background for you video watchers. I like crap. I love crap. I'm down for crap.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we don't, but I'm just saying,
down
like,
for crap.
Yeah, down for crap. That's my political slogan. But no one wants to work as so many hours, for shit wages. Like, we think like this is so, and it becomes our identity to be like, oh yeah, I, overtime and all these things. I work my ass off, you can't say shit because I work so hard. Yeah. It's just like, wouldn't you want to like
just
live, do something else, man? Like anything else.
Paint.
Paint. Be a carpenter. Jesus was cool. He was a carpenter.
Whittle. Try
whittle. Yeah. It's just that's where my mind kind of goes in these things as I'm kind of seeing, the trends that have led us here are I mean, they're so big.
You're speaking to a lot of big cultural movements. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you know? A big cultural touchstone is movies and the movie industry. It's such a big part of American culture.
Yeah.
Or at least it was we could talk about whether it still is. But it at least has been so big. If the 1900s was the American century, movies are such a large part of that story.
Right.
And then it becomes TV, and then it becomes all of these other things. But it was huge. So it's ingrained in this, and it's a money making industry, at least for now.
I think. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, I don't know. This is just an aside. I don't know how relevant this is, but like there is like historically, and we've kind of this is just echoing a lot of stuff, but like we've kind of talked about like how there is an intrinsic tie between like economics and film, and that like film is very much like an economic practice or whatever. Like when you look at New Wave and like why it chooses to populate in certain countries, it's because
it's a reaction.
It is it's literal development of film industry in different countries. That's like basically what New Wave is.
Yes.
And so like, I don't know. It feels important to discuss this sort of angle of like what's happening, because like it's gonna impact like so many of these things. And like I kind of want to go back to this like state controlled cinema. Like I think that's a great kind of maybe a great thing to discuss in relation to like this monopolization in a way, because like when you look at Paramount, understanding that Paramount is owned by like this buying group, right, is like basically organized via MAGA people and like Trump associates.
Yeah. And not only that, Saudi Arabia is involved. Like we're also getting money from all over the world
to make this happen.
To make this happen, especially like really rich Middle Eastern countries are coming in and buying up, as they've been doing with the video game industry too. I don't know how much you know about that, but they're getting involved in that. And we're also seeing the same thing with EA. This kind of like, bringing down, especially like gambling kind of like coming into it. But
it's just like people are already bringing up concerns with that in Paramount, and that like it's really dangerous that like people associated with Donald Trump and this government are like controlling news networks and like TV shows and like movie studios and stuff. Because obviously that just like teeters into propaganda, right? And
exactly. And that's the con,
right? And so like you look at really oppressive governments, that is state sponsored cinema, right? Like when you look at like Soviet cinema, for example, during that
Nazi cinema, if we're like really if we're picking like those are like the
Leno, Reifenstahl or whatever,
Triumph of the Will or whatever it is, like we're getting some like serious, it ends up being like like, I guess you'd call it like film washing of
Yeah,
like these atrocities and trying
sure.
to,
It's a great
you
movie,
know,
by the way.
what film washing?
No,
Is that
that
a
movie.
Triumph of the Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool cinematography.
Yeah, some great shots.
Yeah, yeah,
And the editing is pretty
yeah,
spectacular.
yeah, and that's all. Yeah, and what a tragedy! Like
Yeah, that she
that
wasted
yeah, that wasted on
on this
Nazi
bullshit.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like the flip side of that argument would be to like of state sponsored cinema, right? Is like BFI or is it BFI? Yeah.
Yeah, BFI.
Um or like I know South Korea has like a film commission, a really like great film commission.
Yeah,
And then a lot of states will have like film commissions.
yeah,
New Mexico is like probably one of the more like reputable ones in terms of
yeah,
like what they've done over the last like 10-15 years.
yeah. And even
But
like, and to jump
Georgia
in, yeah,
and like all these other places have it now.
and
Yeah,
China, even like with, we saw Resurrection the other day. I
sure.
mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was, that
true.
had China backing too.
I mean, that was like their entire government like
Yeah,
listed every single
yeah, exactly. Like, it's like that's also possible, and that's
right.
like, that's an insane movie. You could never get like
True.
the
True.
American government to
Right.
sign off on that from like a, like, that's why you can't have them be like, all right, let's look at the subject matter and like pull
Yeah.
out the thing and like judge it like the MPAA does. You know,
Sure.
that's not what you can't even, like, that can't even be a part of the equation. It has to be like, what are
Art.
the
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not even sure. Like,
Well, that like I mean, it's interesting you bring that up because BFI actually enumerates like their qualifications of
oh
what they will like sponsor or whatever, and
yeah,
it's like it has to show like European culture, it has to speak one of their
hmm,
languages, it has to the actors, either the actors, the director, like percentage of above the line and percentage of the below the line has to be like people from EU or whatever. It's like very specific in like what qualifies, like Harry Potter is like a BFI sponsored movie.
oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
One of the most British things you could ever see. Yes.
But you know, like the like America has never had like a department like this where concerned about like this, the display of American culture and like what American movies could like do it for on an international stage, right? Because like inherently we already kind of embody that position. Like
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't really an incentive for our country to do that in terms of like needing like financial support or whatever, because it's going to happen anyways, right? Like these movies are going to get made anyways. I think that's
Yeah.
like the argument, right?
And I think that it's a classic scenario, and it's very American, but it probably is everywhere else too, of just like, hey, it's worked so far. Like,
Yeah.
why change it up? Like,
Right.
all like the people in power get the movies that they want. I mean, no one's making movies that are so big that they are changing like
Right.
politics as we know it.
Right.
It's amazing though that you can get movies like One Battle After Another, for example, that kind of like say things, but even then, like, it's never going to be, I don't know what it would take to be like a groundbreaking thing that like threatens
Right.
the government. We can imagine what that might be. But it might not, there just might not be the
Mm,
cultural cachet anymore to that
right.
a movie can create any like something like that in America.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, you can just see how, why, they're happy with it. Money gets moved around in the way it
Yeah.
is, but now we're seeing, less money here, more money there, and
Yeah.
slowly starting to kill things.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get to at a certain point talking about like how this has happened in the past too, and
Yeah.
what naturally, the ebb and flow of these things, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
I think like a big turning point, at least in my eyes, is like whenever internet companies and like phone companies were buying
Yeah,
Hollywood studios and like TV networks and stuff. I think that was a pretty big concern. And we should have like maybe stomped at that, right? Because like you can't, that is like vertical integration. You're
yes,
controlling like the distribution and the production of it. And I think that's
yeah,
like already a problem, right?
yeah.
Which kind of leads into like this Netflix thing. Like
Oh yeah, that's what we're supposed
that's
to be
what we're
talking
talking about.
about.
But you know, I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Um because I've written some articles on an
Whoa,
unnamed
name
website.
drop. Just
But
search Kevin Konama
yeah.
writing. Yeah.
But I do talk about like the impacts of streaming and the impacts of Netflix and like all these things
Mm-hmm.
um on the film industry. And I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, just like, so at a certain point, right, Netflix starts producing their own movies. um that should have been the red flag, like, immediately, right? We should have said, no, you can't do that. But what we did instead was remove the Paramount decree.
I know. And that happened in, what was it, 2020, I think, or 2022? Like
So
they said,
yeah,
like, oh, this is going to sunset soon because we don't see the point in it.
right. So they started the movement in 2019, and then it went into action in 2020. And so that is literally when HBO Max, Peacock, uh,
Wow.
all these other streaming services come to light, is because the Paramount decree goes away.
Um, if I could, just for the audience, if they don't know what the Paramount Decree
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
let me just give
Some
the
some
Wikipedia.
history. Some
Yeah.
history.
United States versus Paramount Pictures was a landmark, or it's called sometimes Paramount Decree, Paramount Decision, landmark antitrust case that decided the fate of film studios owning their own theaters and holding exclusive rights on which theaters would show their movies. I mean, talk about just like one to one. It would also change the way
Thank
Hollywood
you.
movies
Thank you.
were produced, distributed, and exhibited. It also opened the door for more. Okay, now here's the result. It opened the door for more foreign independent films to be shown in theaters. But the Paramount Decree prevented film production companies from owning exhibition companies. The case is important both in antitrust law and film history. Um, it's responsible for putting an end to the old Hollywood studio system. As part of a 2019 review of the ongoing decrees, the Department of Justice issued a 2-year sunsetting notice for the Paramount Decree in August 2020, believing the antitrust restriction was no longer necessary as the old model could never be recreated in contemporary settings.
Bullshit. Sorry.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Because if listeners, if you still don't see the one, it's a theater now is the streaming service.
Yeah.
It's that it is like it's almost one to one, and then you won't see a Netflix movie on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And so now we're collating or we're combining all of these things,
Yeah.
and now we're at this exact same point.
Yeah. So
Once more.
I think that's a great question of like, why isn't theaters and streaming services seen as equals? I think that's a good talking point, right? Like, why doesn't the law respect those two things as equal? There is historical precedent to that, right? And there
Really?
is reason why we have that difference. So throughout film industry, when you look at union breakdowns, right, and like why unions go on strike, it's because of new media.
Oh,
Right?
sure, that makes
Like,
sense.
so whenever TV comes in, we have a strike. Whenever DVDs happen, we have a strike. Whenever VOD happens, there's a strike.
AI, we have a strike.
We have a strike. And so, like, in the past, auxiliary means of distribution, DVD, video sales, etc., like, it wasn't seen as like a viable distribution market. It wasn't like seen as a competitive market to theater sales, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, despite most movies making more money off of those networks, off of auxiliary distribution, it still wasn't enough to compete with what theaters were doing, right?
Yeah.
And so when streaming comes in, whenever, I forget, like 20 something, 2010 something, they were lumped into auxiliary distribution, which makes sense.
Makes sense,
right?
yes,
Because that basically, Netflix is an offshoot of pay-per-view or like VOD.
Yeah.
Like, it was gonna happen at some point. The switch occurs, right, when we get, I think, late 2010s into the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Pandemic flips the switch to streamers being the like dominant distribution like mode.
Yeah, clearly.
And that's when theaters literally, like, theaters were dying. Theaters are dead after the pandemic because
Yeah.
of like all these things, right? And that was like such a huge talking point during that time period of like, we need to save theaters, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, they're on life support, and we could probably name multiple theaters just around us, and I bet anyone could, of just that have closed down within the last few years.
Yeah. So like, nothing to say, but a weird coincidence that pandemic streamers released and all this happening at the same time. Just like a weird coincidence. That like that all that happened around the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't know where Kevin's mind goes here, but I think that there's a predatory nature to these people.
Yeah,
and it's disaster capitalism is what it's called. And there's Naomi Klein writes this really amazing book. I think it might literally be called that, but I think she in that book talked about like Puerto Rico and how after a lot of these really big storms that hit, all of these people come in and just kind of take it over, destroy it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing here. They see an injured animal and they go for the kill shot. And they see money to be made. And we're talking about when we're talking about streamers, we're talking about tech companies.
Yeah.
These are the most vicious, evil companies alive.
Bay Area, baby.
Yeah, we love them. They actually do pay some of my bills. Sadly.
They
that's
pay
just
damn
that's
near
how
all
economies
my
work.
bills.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And so these are like so hungry, and tech companies have this because they come from this like anarcho-capitalist mindset. They are so hungry and they absorb companies all the time, and what's the word that they use when disrupting. They just love disrupting industries that are like totally fine, and they don't need disrupting. Uber on cabs is a perfect example,
right?
And I mean Uber on everything. I mean, it fucking it makes like public transit awful.
Any app where it's like built as a faster alternative.
Airbnb, and sure, we like apps and we like these things, but we have to understand that like they destroy these industries, and then you get into the like, well, it's going to happen anyways. It's the same idea as like AI. It's like, get with it, get with the times, you're going to be left behind. It's like, get with the app or you're going to be left behind. It's like, we don't have to live in that world. It doesn't have to be like those two choices.
It's always funny because that like future that they promise always ends up not being the truth, right? Because
it never ends up being the truth.
Airbnb has kind of shit itself. Like, hotels are now like increasingly cheaper because of Airbnb like fees and everything.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like it's the Amazon model. I think we've talked about this before, but like you make it so dirt cheap, you kill all the competition, then you aren't like profitable. So you have to
hike the prices.
Yeah, exactly. You have to jack up the prices, and that will lead to something at some point.
Yeah.
And
then Uber and Lyft getting, and like DoorDash and everything having that like class action lawsuit. Yeah.
I mean, and so that's just something I think about, like the streamers and what the pandemic is just like. We're dealing with tech companies that love to destroy
everything,
things that we used to love. And then and just to not be upfront about it. Like even what Netflix is saying now, it's like we're still going to release these things in theaters. Of course we will. Yada yada. Who in their right mind believes a word? These people, like,
fake ass.
Who gives a like? There's no punishment for like saying a lie. So of course they can lie all they want. Like it doesn't matter.
Just politicianing.
Exactly. Like it's just like no one's ever going to hold them to account. So why wouldn't they lie? Because all that matters is shareholder value. They're just trying to get the number up. and eventually they can't, so they have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So I wrote in an article a couple years ago talking about like, are streamers good or bad for the film industry? And my
oh wow.
in the conclusion, I was like, if we let this happen, at some point, like, Netflix is going to buy a studio. I like wrote that in the article.
Whoa. I mean,
but it's so written in stone, right? It's like written on the
yeah.
walls. Like, you can
Yeah.
kind of see it happening already. Like 5-10 years ago, like it was kind of lead up to this point.
Yeah. I gotta ask Kevin, what's happening next? I need your Nostradamus mind on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I easily
is,
can look at the past and
right.
see.
That's what I was gonna do. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
when we look at what has happened in the past, like, essentially we'll need, like, they can keep doing all these things like mergers, blah 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 blah. But I think we do have like relatively good, like, safeguard system in place to like to prevent slash fight against like these things happening.
Yeah.
So already, like, in the past few days, DGA and WGA have already like spoken out about both the WD Netflix merger and a potential WD Paramount merger.
Yeah.
So like, obviously unions are great for like fighting against these things.
Yeah, and one of the few, the film industry is one of the few
Oh
industries,
yeah.
sectors that's
Yeah.
actually highly unionized. Like that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so that's like, thank God they have that to fight against this.
Yeah.
Or else they would get trampled on. And that's what we
Right.
see with every other industry,
Right.
is it's happening. And like nurses and teachers are like one of the other few like industries that
Unionized.
still have something.
Yeah. And they're going on strike every damn year. Every damn month.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where I live, the teachers just went on strike.
Yeah,
Like it happens all the time because
Yeah.
that's also, and thank God, like, because man, the tech industry is just salivating trying to take down teachers.
Oh yeah.
And trying to take over schools.
Didn't you say like, can we put iPads in schools or whatever?
Yes, I did work with a tech company that wanted to put, and like it was for a competition that was trying to put iPads in schools in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And trying to see like, hey, can the kids
replace?
Yeah, can we replace? I mean, the big thing was like, there aren't enough teachers to students, which is true. Like that's true out there. And so the kids just kind of hang around and they don't really learn. So it's like, hey, can we throw in iPads? But you can see where that's going to lead.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, folks, it doesn't work. Spoiler alert, doesn't work. And I was part of the winning group that actually won the competition. So even with that, it still isn't an actual viable thing.
Yeah. No
and way. And so thank God that there's some pushback. And
right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you look at, I think you have to look at the original Paramount decree, because that's like basically the only example that's like relatable to what's going on.
I mean, it's like a 1-to-1, like it's pretty close to 1-to-1. Yeah, with the name too, almost like it's crazy.
Oh fuck!
Oh, you didn't even put that together,
dude. I did not do that. Yeah, wow. Yeah,
I mean, if it goes kind of the other way and Paramount buys it, I mean, it'll be 1-to-1.
Because Paramount, the decree was named after Paramount, but it was like all the studios were included.
They were all doing it. Yeah, it just ended up they were the ones being.
They were just
focused on
the first one that was named in the list, so they just like, that was what the decree was called.
Yeah.
But that is funny. History does repeat itself in interesting ways. So yeah, it's definitely come back with Paramount being the company to like cause all this like weird shit. But yeah, I mean, what was I gonna say? Eventually they have to divest and like sell off these companies.
Yeah.
Like Netflix will have to split up into a production and streaming like company, and all these other streamers will have to sell as well. So yeah, I don't know what. That actually brings up a lot of interesting things in my head in terms of like who are potential buyers,
Yeah.
Does this it get internationally involved? Like,
and you're
that
saying
is,
like that would happen if they do something about this merger.
they would need to they would need to reinstate the Paramount decree
Yeah.
with streamers in mind,
Yeah.
written for modern context. That would eventually lead, because what the Paramount decree like told, what it caused or whatever, they had to sell all their theater chains. They had to get rid of like
Yeah.
basically divest from all these things that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So like Netflix would need to sell its like theaters, its like production chain, its
Yeah, which
VFX.
for listeners, Netflix does have theaters. Like they
Yeah, they
actually
own
do own
theaters.
a few at least
Yeah, in
theaters because
LA.
they
Yeah,
want to have things go to the Oscars. That's basically the only reason that they
yeah,
have that sort of thing. Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry to
No,
interrupt,
yeah,
but
no, it's good. That's good, like context.
yeah.
Like they own a lot of VFX studios. They own a lot of like production supply chain entities. So
Yeah.
like the monopolization of Netflix and Apple and Disney like goes beyond the acquisition of like these studios and stuff.
Yeah.
They are literally buying up the entire food chain
Yeah.
of the film industry, which is it vertical integration, right?
Yes.
Like they're controlling every little bit of the chain.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest concern.
And wouldn't you say that it's going really well and movies are getting better? I mean,
and so
come on, Kevin.
And so I had written another article about this, about
Ooh, okay.
the effects of monopolization and what that means for us, the consumer. Like, why does the everyday person care about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just watching movies. Most people actually don't give a fuck about like if the movie is good or bad. They just want to be entertained, right?
Yeah.
But I think to some degree, when you look at the broad spectrum of like the movies over the last 10, 15 years, a lot of the stories are the same. A lot of the movies themselves look the same. Like,
oh yeah,
you get a monopolization of style and like story, you know? Like, we are no longer like privy to choice, you know? Like, the illusion of choice is now actually an illusion because it's all the same bullshit. Like, it,
well, here,
yeah.
Oh, go for it.
The same VFX studio does all the VFX for all the movies.
Exactly.
So you're watching the same movie, you know, you're not, even though it's Disney and 20th Century Fox and even, you know, it's like all the same shit. Like,
and there's just there's a cheapening that's happening. Everyone is, like, so many people shoot on green screen, which just has a look. Everyone's like, I say everyone, I'm saying that not euphemistically. But like,
I mean, every big studio is
doing that, and then
like
using
that.
And then using the, what is it called, the that screen, that big screen on the stage,
volume.
Yeah, the volume, like LED that sort of thing
walls.
too. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's when you get like this nasty lighting where there's just no contrast, and it's just so weird.
You want to hear some great stuff? I've learned. I just like worked on unnamed tech company in the Bay Area. They have like a volume wall in their studio.
All right, I'm gonna start naming them.
But I learned like the workflow of like how to do this, right? And I've read articles about like this as well, that like when you're implementing effects, it's better to have flat lighting because it's easier to it's easier to like put the effects in, you know? If you have like a style already implemented, it's harder to replicate that.
Yes.
Or like if you want to change the lighting, it's harder to do that. And I'm like, what the fuck am I hearing?
And so
but that's
there
just,
you go.
But that's why movies look so bad, is because they're safe. They're trying to, like, in case I need to change this in post, like, I have the ability to.
I watched Mission Impossible series all the way through.
Oh,
hopefully one day we get to do. So I watched 7 movies that span 30 years, and from the 90s to now, which I think is such a great slice of action movies, and kind of see all the way from Brian De Palma and John Woo and J.J. Abrams that start the first 3, to then Brad Bird and Christopher McQuarrie, and Christopher McQuarrie doing the last, I guess 4. Oh yeah. how many? Maybe there are more than no. I think there's 8 movies actually. Now that I
Yeah,
think about it.
7 was 2
Yeah,
movies. Yeah.
yeah, true. But you can tell like the lighting in the last movie is like there's so many times I'm just like this is just so bad. Like it doesn't even
Yeah.
look real anymore. Like they look separated,
Yeah.
and it like looking at them like I don't think it's CGI. Like I think it's the volume, and I think it's that sort of LED wall situation where it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have to light it in this boring, unnatural way, and I gotta wonder, do people even notice? Like, I
Mm.
don't know if people even notice these things.
I don't think I I don't think the general people notice consciously. Like they're
Yeah,
not saying, "Oh, there's a difference." But I feel
yeah,
like you feel it. Like
yeah.
you watch a movie and you can tell there's a difference, right?
And they just don't even know necessarily the words to describe, like,
Exactly.
oh, yeah, it's kind of ugly
Exactly.
or whatever. Yeah.
So, yeah, like in the article I wrote about was about Transformers. And so I bid you audience to watch the first Transformers and then watch the newest Rise of the Beasts and
Ooh,
tell me there's not a visual difference between
I
those
have
two
to imagine it's
movies.
pretty extreme.
It, like with the way they light the Transformer characters,
Yeah.
just pay close attention and you will see there is such a stark difference with the way Michael Bay is like creating these characters and then the way the new movies look. It's just
Yeah.
like such a big difference. And then so another example, I just watched The Great Gatsby from 1974
I
with my
saw it. Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
and
How'd that go?
my dad immediately was like, "Yeah, I just like this better than the Leo version because the Leo version just feels weird. Like there's
Mm,
it just doesn't look real." And it's
well, I
and
mean,
and
he's
so
right.
exactly. And then so you were kind of saying you don't have the language to really describe why you don't like that or like what
Yeah.
the difference is, but you definitely feel it, right? There's such a stark difference between how movies were made even in the 2000s, and then
Yeah.
the way the movies are made now. Like it's
Yeah.
such a big difference. Like
And I think it
Furiosa
is.
versus Mad
Yeah.
Max, two different
Oh, yeah.
movies.
Oh, I mean, totally. I mean, it's crazy.
Both
Yeah.
great, but like they
Yeah.
look so different.
Yeah. That's a really good. Yeah, and yeah. Oh, that does kind
Yeah.
of suck. Yeah.
Or Gladiator 2 versus Gladiator, like you can
Yeah.
take any movie from these two periods and it's like such a big difference. Hunger Games and the new Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like the effects really take it to a whole nother, like this era of filmmaking is such a specific thing tied to the technology that we've been
Yeah.
using.
I would imagine even Iron Man versus Fantastic Four. Like if we're like talking about
Whoa.
just Marvel,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw there's plenty in Fantastic Four First Steps because I do my research. I think it's important to watch these
Dude, your
Marvel
research.
movies just for research purposes. I don't
Sure,
like
yeah,
them, but
yeah. Okay,
but
Ryan.
I
Okay.
yeah. But there's so many like especially when they're outside, it's just like light doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Light isn't that soft.
Yeah.
Like like it just it
Unless you're
maybe it bothers
in
me more
like
than I need.
Sunset District in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's like it's just
It's not that
it,
soft.
yeah, it gets me. It gets me. But
Yeah. Throw a
um
hard backlight. Like just give
yeah,
me a hard backlight.
something. Yeah. Give me a hardback. One hardback, please.
That's all I ask for.
Please. Um
Like
something to
seriously,
just
no joke aside, if you have a hard backlight, it
that
immediately
makes
looks good to me.
yes. Yes.
Just like generally speaking.
Yeah, I just watched something that they had a really good hard backlight. I forget what it was. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, damn, that's powerful."
Yeah.
But it just like
I mean,
gives just let's just some love,
yeah.
you know?
Like Yorgos,
Yeah.
not that he's lighting his movie, but his movies look great.
Yeah, I don't I mean even Poor Things, I did not think like this
Was on
looks
a
flat.
Yeah,
This
like it
looks
didn't
flat
look
and stupid.
because
Yeah.
they shot that on a volume
Yeah.
and
Oh, and
everything.
see, I wouldn't be yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like there is a way to do it right,
Yeah.
basically. Like, and
Mhm.
I think Poor Things is a great example of like if the conditions were correct, like we could get really amazing stuff. And it's important to point out that was made outside of Hollywood studio system, right? Like
Yeah.
that was made
Yeah.
in Europe. So
Yep. Yep.
um yeah,
And
I don't
it's
know,
one of
I
those
don't
things,
know.
like, I think it also brings it all the way back to money, because
Yeah.
it costs more in some ways to light it better.
Yeah.
You know, like
True.
you need to have professionals that cost more probably to use,
Yeah.
to do these things the right way. And now we're also, it's this slow, like siphoning of talent, it's the same thing that happens with construction.
Mm.
You like, there's a reason why homes look boring as fuck now. And the Bay
Mm.
Area has such beautiful architectural history. You go around these neighborhoods and you can see some of the most beautiful homes ever, from like Tudor houses to Victorian to craftsman, when it
Mm.
actually, like, there was a style.
Yeah.
And now you get these stucco outside, boring ass, not McMansions, but like this ugly stepsister of them.
Yeah.
And it's because we've also lost the
Want.
architects and the construction workers that even knew how to do it.
Right.
Like we're now like moving further away, where you can't even go back to that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be so unbelievably expensive.
Yeah.
And I bet that's happening in the film industry too, is like we're slowly
Dang.
siphoning out and losing this amazing talent. I think,
Yeah.
I bet you that's happening with animatronics and stuff like that too. You know, like Jurassic World Rebirth being the first Jurassic Park World movie to not use any of them. Like, and that was like a mainstay of the series. Like, we're now kind of like losing this art form. And I feel like movies should, a big part of movie making should always be
Upholding
reaching
craft.
and pulling from the past.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a beautiful history.
Yeah.
Like, to just like throw it away. And I mean, I don't want to be so like oh, it's so sacred and I don't, never change anything or whatever like that. That's
Purist.
good. Like, yeah, exactly. I don't want to be a total purist, but I do just hate this. It is just making it uglier for money.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I mean, even like, yeah, money wise, it's cheaper in the VFX studio to do the VFX. Like, that's probably a huge part of it, because the VFX pipeline is a huge reason why movies are the way they are.
Yeah.
Because it's just so limited.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you bring up a great point. Like, overall, our society, and I think people kind of talk about it, like the loss of kind of style or craft, like the loss of design.
Yeah.
Minimalism being like the fucking like nail in the
coffin. Go-to. I mean,
that.
Yeah. Like, the logos are all like really basic, flat. You know, we've kind of like lost like, and it's only been like 30 years.
Yeah.
And like 30 years ago, things were like, there was a lot of really cool, interesting ideas, and things do change. So we might be in that, but it also just feels like a simpling. And some people call it like the enshittification of stuff.
I think
we're kind of in that.
I think it's highly tied to reproducibility. Like, you speak
I've got
you speak of example, like logos. I know they simplify logos so that like it's cheaper to print them on things like t-shirts or whatever, like less colors, more thing, like easier to like display or whatever. And even like to movies, it's like, we want this technology because it'll make it faster to make and like easier to do, and like that's just AI and everything.
There's a great example, like Pizza Huts used to have really cool buildings, right? McDonald's used to have really interesting buildings. Now every fast food restaurant has the same dumbass style and look to it. And not that I'm like fucking fast food, but I mean, still, like,
but that
and that's
speaks
because,
to what you're saying.
And that's because they want to be able to sell that building to another company, to move into it, and so a McDonald's moving into a Pizza Hut or whatever, that's why you like look around and sometimes you'll see like a Pizza Hut or something like just kind of sitting empty, because they know like, okay, we got to tear this whole thing down in order to move something in. And so also like this, like letting, this this what our economy has been doing. It's a really
the
big picture thing of
the effects of free market and open
yeah,
market.
exactly,
Yeah,
of just like letting things like we have no want to keep it alive.
yeah,
We want it to keep cycling and eating
yeah.
itself because that's how you make the
Mm,
GDP go up.
right.
Is you have to like just keep moving things back and forth and eating and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and so and naturally, and now we're seeing it go into what our podcast is about.
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
it's crazy that like we've gotten to this point just speaking about this thing because that it's so true. Like it is so all encompassing, this kind of thing that's happening in our lives right now.
yeah,
And I think it is important to kind of like highlight all these things because it just like emphasizes how like crazy it is and how much it's impacted our lives, and we've
yeah,
just kind of accepted it because like we don't really kind of know any better, it feels
yeah.
like. Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
It's pretty wild.
can I ask you a scenario question?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see where you go. So you
I
had
love
this,
this.
you had a nice, before we went on the podcast, there was like a, one of us was, you were a little glass half empty. I was a little glass half full on like
Sure.
what can come and stuff
Okay,
like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you even just had a glass half full thing. You were kind of saying that, like you were assuming and imagining the world where this law gets passed.
Sure.
And I want to ask you, what if it doesn't? What happens to this whole thing if like let's say worst case scenario, because I mean I don't even know who's worse, Netflix or
Okay.
Paramount. Like they are evils in different ways. I think like they'll do somewhat different things. um
Yep.
but what if, let's say, Netflix buys them? What ends up happening and no one stops them? What
I
happens to
mean,
the industry?
basically what happens is we lose a huge chunk of things that were awesome. Like very simply, we lose
Yeah.
a lot of great properties. We probably
Mm-hmm.
get more Harry Potter movies. We
Oh yeah.
we get more kind of like TV shows built around like big Warner Brothers things.
DC is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe more superhero TV shows, more,
Ooh, we need more of that. Now
yeah,
that I think about
like
it.
another Batman movie. We might
Yeah.
need a couple more Batman movies.
Yeah. Let's have actually a few Batman movies happening at the same time.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
um so what when you look at, I think when for an example of what
Mm-hmm.
could happen at Netflix, just look at Disney. Like what Disney
Yeah.
has done with 20th century, Avatar 6,
True.
Indiana 5, Indiana Jones 5. Like they've just been shitting out more movies. um like Amazon and MGM, they've been kind of like doing the similar thing with more indie stuff though.
Yeah.
So like you know my concern is that like the movies will look worse, like, but I don't think I don't think most people care about that.
I true like I think that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, like what audiences
Like the Netflix,
actually,
because there is a Netflix standard in terms of like what
what
the
kind of
lighting ratio
cameras, and
is.
yeah, yeah,
Like it has to be a certain exposure. Like I know Apple has it too.
yeah. Well, you can
um
tell with Apple for sure.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like the most obvious to me.
right. um so I think they'll just look shittier, and then also theater windows will go down.
Yes.
And like, yeah, okay, Netflix been doing that, like, so Netflix is going to do their own thing. I think the biggest concern is like Warner Brothers is a big fucking piece of the pie. Like Warner Brothers is like damn near 50% of Hollywood, I
I mean, talk
think.
about the success of this year. I mean, talk
Yeah,
about like this is like one of the biggest years Warner Brothers has ever had. Maybe it
yeah,
is the biggest year.
yeah.
And the end of this year is seeing them
Get being
being
sold.
eaten.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that like that is a huge concern, is that like that what Netflix is doing is going to happen to more things.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty fucked. I think if Paramount buys them, okay, so I don't know, to retort the glass half full like
Sure.
thing, right? Like I maybe the glass half empty is maybe like Lena Riefenstahl
Yeah.
is
And yeah, what
to
in this
further
context? What do you
explain.
mean? Yeah.
You know, we cannot ignore the fact that we are going deeper and deeper into a fascistic like controlled government. Like I think when we look back on our lives today, 10 20 years from now, we will describe the United States as a fascist government.
Yes. I
What
mean,
it
it's
is,
kind of crazy. Yeah,
what it
not
is
to.
right now, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, if these mergers continue to happen and Paramount controls 50%,
Paramount. Yeah.
you know, Jared Kushner, fucking Saudi Arabia, owns 50% of the fucking thing. Yeah, we start crossing the bridge into like propaganda and like really problematic government things, right?
Yeah.
That equate to like a Nazi thing or like
Yeah.
Soviet Union, in my
It's
opinion.
funny. Yeah, it's funny. Like what we're kind of already getting with the Paramount thing is Donald Trump coming out and being like, "I want to see a new Rush Hour movie,"
Yeah.
and then making a Rush Hour 4, like just on his whim. And so, I mean, thank God that it's just that, and he's
For
not like asking
now.
for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Like for now, it's that because Donald Trump is just like a
Fucking
dumbass.
psychopath.
But I mean,
Yeah.
imagine you put it into someone that actually has like some like serious, like you really let these like accelerationists step in and start doing it. Yeah, you're absolutely going to be left with serious propaganda that America hasn't seen since World War II, you know,
with Disney,
where it was like, that was what we wanted to do, was like, it was war movies. You couldn't have anything that wasn't
right.
that, you know,
Right. Yeah.
and so we're going to start getting to that point where it's like, hey, you know, that's not really a good idea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe even theaters will be on such a back leg that it'll be like, you know, don't show this movie or
Exactly.
else, you know, like once it's they see the blood, they smell the blood in the water.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, once they know theaters are like about to die, they could make them do fucked up things.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Great fucking point, Ryan. Great fucking point, Ryan.
I'm not full of those.
Great
I'm not full of those.
fucking point. And so I think a call to action for thy listener.
Ooh, CTA.
Is make challenging movies.
Yeah.
Make movies that are humanist. Make movies that challenge the status quo. Make movies that target systems of power.
Yeah.
Because that will be seen as a threat, right? That will ultimately be seen as a threat in the next 10, 15 years.
Yes.
And that, whatever you're talking about, those types of movies will be censored by Mr.
whoever,
Agent Orange.
Yeah.
I
mean, we're like,
you know,
it's
now more than ever is important for these movies.
Mm-hmm. And even the ones from the past are like, if they have any sort of inkling towards being a negative interpretation or whatever. Like I'm thinking about Home Alone 2 has Donald Trump in it, and I think they want to remove him from it, or like there are some movies where it's like they had like, you know, there's those sorts of things. I could see like Trump being like, I want more of me in it.
Yeah.
Every movie has to have like a little Trump cameo, just a little baby Trump cameo in every big movie. Just a little Trump cameo.
Every movie has to have a Trump like thing.
Yeah, like
symbol.
a Home Alone 2 thing. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like he's there on the TV. He's there on this. Like that's what it will, because it also we also live in a gangster society too now, where it is just like, and it's so clear because no one will fight corruption anymore. That's where we're at that point now where it's just like, oh yeah, you have a good meeting with Trump and that's enough. Like you're able to convince him of a lot of different things, or you buy him a private jet and all of a sudden he'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And we're living in that point where it's like these people can easily be bought.
Yeah.
And so It's just at the whim of what these people want. And I think Paramount wants complete political control. They're much more politically aligned than Netflix is. And Netflix is going to be the tech company that wants to, you know, control your entire your eyes and ears completely. And so it's really, they're different beasts, I think, but both very bad.
It's of the same coin though. When you look
at totally.
Because like Netflix is no different than, you know, Meta or Elon or
that's the brand there. And I mean,
that's where they're operating and what they operate with.
Paramount Skydance is also still a tech thing too, because Larry Ellison of Oracle fame, you know, this is where the money comes from for all of this stuff.
Exactly.
So it's still, the fucking Bay Area sucks.
Yeah. Well, they say like the 5 richest people all own media companies.
Yeah. Damn.
Which is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you know, speaking to like the fascist oligarch regime, like that's what we're talking about. Is like all this control and everything. Yeah.
I'm making a mad face.
And to throw them under the bus, A24 is involved in this too.
Oh yeah, I mean they made an intentional point to change, right? And because I remember hearing them being like, we're going to go to more big budget movies, right? And that was already like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, and so clearly you're going to start getting, that brand's not going to mean anything in a few years' time, I would imagine.
And the guys who started that company came from like Tekken Studios. So
interesting.
I think so. Yeah. They were never inclined to like save indie cinema in the way that like people wanted them to.
Yeah. Oh, it's all so predatory. And I mean, it makes you like, it just is like money in movies. Just like it blows in a lot of ways. Like it's just like the fact that has to be a calculation. It sucks in so many ways. I'm definitely a believer in creativity, and like it's good to have a box, right? It's good to think inside because it like helps you, like there's some problem solving, and I find my ideas are better when it's like, all right, I have to do something versus just like you just let yourself kind of go loose for too long. I mean, nothing ends up kind of, so deadlines can be good, like budgets can be good, but I think we're doing a serious disservice by making it worse and worse and worse. Like we really want it to be worse. Like,
and you can attribute that to VFX and like filmmaking pipeline as well, of like we have too much possibility, like you know sometimes,
and so it has to be shot for too much possibility too.
Exactly. And so like sometimes having 4 walls is as good as having like a small budget, you know? Just use a confined space, whether that's literal or financial or whatever. Like I think you're right. Like, you know, all these things are meant to like support and allow creativity and inspiration to grow, right? Like the more parameters you have in place, the more ideas can grow from that, I feel like.
You know? I agree. 100% agree. And so it's how do you implement that, right? I mean, that's an interesting thought, is like, what does the ideal film economy look like?
Dang, Ryan.
I mean,
Ryan,
someone's got to have an
answer. You're going off today.
Someone's got to have a fucking answer here.
Dude, that's great. Yeah.
Like, what does it look like? I know you love imagining crazy fucking scenarios. So
yeah,
I leave that to us to eventually report on.
That begs the bigger question of like an American Film Commission. What does an American Film Commission do and look like? And how like involved are they in everything, you know? Like ooh. I mean, what the fuck? Why don't we have that?
No one's dreaming. That's why.
We could have, I mean, okay, I'm going to go crazy. Allow me to go crazy.
All right.
Because
I'm going to sit back and listen.
Because
I'm seated.
Just because of what I've been doing and everything. Sure. Like the film industry should operate like the NFL. Or like a sport.
I'm immediately turned off.
Like a sports league. Like, right? You have this framework, right? The NFL is like the framework for within each franchise can operate in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they set the regulations, the standards, the rules. Like you have to wear X amount of jerseys throughout the season. Like you have to host this many games. The field has to be under certain conditions. Like you can only do this. Like we'll kind of negotiate on the side of like these, we'll negotiate like TV deals and make sure that
Yeah.
everything's like even and fair for all the teams, and that like everyone has representation and everything makes sense. But you're also responsible for upholding like these things that we need from you, right?
Yeah.
And so there needs to be some sort of organization, right, that is like, this is the standard for what the film industry is. Like you can't go over, maybe you can't go over this budget level for whatever reason, right? Like
That's good
a
enough. That's good
salary
enough.
cap, a
Yeah.
salary cap.
Oh, don't even get me started on a
Whoa,
salary cap. That's
whoa,
hot shit.
whoa. Like X% of your budget can like only X% of your budget can go to above the line.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
What? Like why don't we have these things?
Yeah.
Like
Question, who decides the NFL like regulations?
the NFL has like a commissioner who's like the lead of the thing, and then they have like all the VO, the CE, whatever, the C
Yeah.
suite like level stuff.
Yeah.
And then each team has like an owner, and then they have a GM that like operates the team, and then they have the
Mm-hmm.
coach and everything. So there's like a hierarchical breakdown that goes down, right?
Yeah.
But the league
But
is like dictating the thing, and then they have like players unions, they have like coaches unions,
mm-hmm.
that negotiate on behalf of like the players and stuff like that. So there's like
And
all these like structures in place. Yeah.
they don't get equal funding, correct? The teams?
So the NFL negotiates the TV contracts with
Mm-hmm.
companies. They
Okay.
pool that money and then split it to evenly amongst the 32
Evenly.
teams.
Okay.
And that money, the TV contract money, is used for salary cap. That's the
Oh.
money they pay players with.
Oh,
Or
okay.
that's the money that number dictates how much they can pay their players,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm.
And then so ticket sales, concessions, like jersey sales, all that goes to the team, and the team is like operating that,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know, like maybe like I don't know what that looks like for the film industry, but like having standards and restrictions and regulations that prevent like oversized control and stuff like that, definitely needs to be like in place. And then like yeah, dictating contracts, like dictating what like finance breakdowns are,
Like most movies get like a at least a limited number of like how much time they're in the theaters, right?
Exactly,
Like there's
exactly.
like a universal like understanding, like
Yeah,
yes, you will be able to see that movie
right.
that is only like at the moment now is only available
For
in
2 weeks.
yeah, exactly, for 2 weeks in LA.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like there's a possibility, because we're also seeing the death of cinemas in just any small town
Right.
anywhere, that you're kind of getting into this thing. And so you got to just like have all of these people involved in helping to make these decisions. There's no
Yeah.
reason why we have to leave anyone behind either.
Like have a Hollywood commissioner,
Yeah.
like that, like all the studios, all the streamers under one umbrella thing,
Yeah.
and like I mean, eventually in a perfect world, Netflix would have to be its own studio and its own streamer. Basically,
Absolutely.
streamers and studios would be its own thing. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is just like yeah. So you would have groups, right? Like a a thing for streamers, a thing for theaters, and then like a thing for studios.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's and I know this is definitely a conversation for another time too, but
Yeah.
also think about like how you introduce, like NFL, you can't just add a new team.
Right.
But in this scenario, like in this kind of
mergers
thing,
yeah,
like how do you allow more people to come up in, like, there's no, like, what is the real, like, limit to amount of studios? What does
Sure.
that even look like? Is studio just like now just a form of like collecting creatives to have like under a banner, or like what do they offer, like the little like verse, like what does indie filmmaking look like in
Right.
this thing is an interesting question in a perfect world.
Sure, yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think this opens a more hard-lined division between indie cinema and
It does,
studio
definitely.
filmmaking, right?
Yeah,
Because I guess yeah, this is just a bigger conversation,
it
but
is.
um, I think it is. And I was thinking like, what's the difference? I was thinking this earlier, like, what's the difference between indie and studio cinema? Because it's like so hard to define nowadays
Yeah.
based on the old definition. But I feel like when you look at the industry now, it's like there's an industry that's like buying properties and reproducing like these stories, this like kind of legacy filmmaking sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, to me, like whatever you see on Letterboxd Top 250, to me that's like indie cinema.
Yeah.
If you're making movies that like speak to that, like to me that's kind of what indie cinema is, more or less. You know what I mean? It's
Sure,
like
sure, sure.
more stylized, more human stories, like real, like grounded, like
Yeah.
probably not made in the system and made like on shoestring or on government funding, or on making it happen in its own way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
interesting. Like in this scenario, there could be a world where it doesn't have to be so like what does it mean to like pull that, like make, the Letterbox Top 250 a
studio.
a major defining quality of
Mm.
some of the studio things. I don't know, because like,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, because independent filmmaking is a response to the formation we have currently,
right.
right, and funding currently. So if you change how funding is done, it naturally, I mean, it certainly won't fill the same space.
I mean that just, I feel like you're kind of, maybe I'm misinterpreting, but I feel like
Yeah, yeah,
you're answering a lot of questions you're asking earlier too,
maybe.
of like this film commission could do the grants and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
have its own independent support branch
Yeah,
and have a Hollywood branch. And basically, if you are a studio, you are a studio. There is no
yeah,
independent studios like
yeah,
that. You as soon as you start creating creating properties and like producing things, you are joining this thing, because when you, I think that's a good question of like,
yeah,
oh, can a studio join this league or whatever.
yeah,
And typically in a professional sports league, there are very high barriers to entry. So it is very hard to join, right? but
oh
when
yeah, I would
but,
imagine.
but when you look at college football, it's very, very different. More like teams join every year. If they have they have a
See, I like that.
they have a list of guidelines of like, hey, you need to hit these things, like your stadium needs to be this size, you need to have this, blah 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 blah. The amount of money and funding, like you need like these
And the amount of
requirements.
funny, the amount of
Yeah,
funny
the amount
too.
of funny too, yeah, exactly. And so in order to join, Division 1 FBS, like you have to
Mm-hmm.
have these things. And so
Mm-hmm.
teams join every year and every now and petition to join and stuff like that. And so
I guess, yeah,
studios
yeah,
could do that.
yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking of even like that's how it works in my limited knowledge of like football in Europe.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Is that same sort of thing? Like it's or like I'm thinking about like the Bundesliga in Germany and stuff like
Right.
that, and in England, it's like those same sorts of things. Like they compete to move on to this next like
Yes.
funding level, or like,
Yes.
you know and it depends on a certain number of things that are
Exactly.
really they're very easy to quantify in sports. Like it's so easy to be like, you're a winning team or you're a losing team.
Right,
Like it's
right.
like very strict. It's like movies get into a
box office
difference.
numbers, like,
Yeah,
like if you don't hit a certain box office percentage, then you get relegated to the next tier. Because I think that's awesome, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, these are the majors, these are the mid majors, these are the small art house ones, these are the
yeah.
whatever. You have like these tiers of like, these studios get these budgets, these studios get these budgets, and so you get more studios. Like, you can separate Disney and Searchlight and like all their prop and Touchstone. You can separate all those things into different levels, right? And so
Okay.
now like Touchstone can operate as its own like team. And so if
Yeah,
it wants to bump up to, it can start, like,
yeah.
you're introducing more competitive nature
So
to like these studios and things.
yeah, and another thing
Dude,
I
I
like about the
fucking
sports analogy,
love
I know you're
this.
going crazy.
Oh my
It turns out
fucking god.
for our
Oh my
audience that
fucking god.
Kevin and I have had a number of like, we've had lunch or something like that, and Kevin will go off on these sports tangents of like how they are creating this made up league and everything like that. And it's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. I've always been like, I'm so happy for you, Kevin, but this means
Nothing.
yeah, this is not for me, but I will sit and I will listen because you're my friend.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing the connection. And I'll just say another
Right.
like thing I really like about sports is the draft. Right.
Yeah.
And it like how to implement because
Ryan.
the draft always feels very like, I don't really like this like
That's
trading in the
fairness.
draft and stuff like that.
Right,
But like
right.
there's like a fairness to it where it's like if you're like down low, you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to do something,
Oh, a draft of like film properties.
Yeah. Yeah, film properties or just of budgets. And they're just like, all right, so you get a
Oh,
big budget movie. This small studio gets a big budget movie this time.
yeah, like
That's going to
bidding
be in
for
all the
that.
theaters. Yeah. So best of luck to you.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they're like it's
Ryan.
like budgets, like class A, class B, class C budgets that they're
Right.
like, okay,
And it's just all pulled
yeah,
together, and you can
yeah,
draft from whatever you want. Like,
yeah,
okay, we're like a small studio, so we want that really good small
yeah,
mid-level budget thing. Or yeah,
yeah,
maybe we do want to go swing big since we're top
yeah.
three. Like,
Now
we're
you
picking
still have to
top three.
like you still have to be there still are qualifications. You can't just be like, oh, such a bad studio
Sure,
that
sure.
and now you just get a ton of money, like
Right,
you don't
right.
want necessarily that, but it has to be yeah, you could make that
But
work. I think that the draft is an interesting.
I think you're opening, like, that's free market competition, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're
That's the
allowing.
right kind of like market competition that I
Right,
like.
right.
Is like in these spaces where it's like it doesn't affect my health care.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
And like free markets great. Like markets are great it like when it's like chip flavors
Yeah.
or even movies a
Yeah.
lot of times like
Exactly.
like when there's a lot of competition it's really great.
Right. I love
And
this.
yeah.
I
Right on. Wow, did we
love
solve it?
this. I think we did.
I think we solved it.
I think, no, legitimately, I'm writing the bill. Like, we're gonna do
Yes.
this.
I doubt it will be passed in this current situation, but you never know.
Maybe the next decade.
Yeah. Start right. I mean, just start shopping it around.
Yeah.
Being like, hey,
I mean, I think
big idea.
we've brought together a lot of great points, right? Like, we've
Yeah.
created a system that is regulated, that creates fairness, that creates competition. All these things that capitalism promises, like, this system would basically do that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a great, like, to say like, oh, it's almost just like this thing that everyone
Right.
believes is like it's getting less and less so, but sports is like the only meritocracy left
Sure, yeah.
in this world.
Yeah.
And even then it still is starting to kind of dwindle, but it's
Right.
like, you can easily point to that as a good example, which is great. Like having people to
Ryan.
imagine something from scratch is hard.
Ryan.
Yes.
Ryan.
Kevin. Yes, Kevin.
Sports leagues have an exemption to antitrust law.
Ooh, interesting.
That would absolve all of this. If you write this law to quote and cite sports leagues,
yeah,
you have legal precedent, and you have the framework, the legal framework to make this an actual thing.
It's easy to attach to it. Yes. Yeah.
This is the thing. This is a legitimate thing.
Yeah. We
I'm
did
telling you.
I believe you. I'm right here with you.
This is a legit thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this could actually change like the industry. I'm saying I don't say that lightly.
I know. No, like, we're 84 episodes deep in recording, and we've hit the we're about to change things.
This is big. This is big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm telling you. You're hearing it first, folks.
I know. Hey, I'm in on the ground floor. I don't need to be commissioner.
Neither do I. Like, I just like the ideas and like,
I know,
putting all these things together. And you're asking really great questions, right? Like,
yes,
I think you're putting a lot of these things in place.
Yeah,
or teeing it up, you know.
Oh, I mean, I didn't realize what a beautiful thing this would be for like me to offer up to you. Like it was like the perfect Kevin thing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the perfect combination of everything.
Of all the things, yeah.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah, I mean I've been writing about this. This is such a big focus of like how I see things in the industry, and so like when I think this is a great episode idea, and obviously an hour and a half in,
I know
it's pretty fruitful, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah. Wow. I love this. I think I took a lot more from this than I expected.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
wow.
Possibly entirely sector changing.
Like
we could, everything might, and I mean, we'll see. We'll have to do some fantasy filmmaking.
Yeah. Whoa. I mean, yeah, that's basically what AI will be.
I know. That's the bad version.
Yeah, the like distorted version. But yeah, I mean, what would that be like? The box office numbers of like your best actor list.
Yeah,
you know, your actor directors and cinematographers. You draft all these people. That's too much. we're gonna. We're gonna think more about it. And we're gonna present our findings. Yeah. I mean, I love the tiered football thing.
Oh, that's a winner. That's 100% a winner.
God. Yeah. That was genius.
Yeah, it's just so easy to see it. You know, like it's like, come on, people.
Right. Oh my god. And you know what's funny? To get really personal.
Yeah.
Like the way I remember very consciously when I was in like middle school, I was like, I really want to understand music like more, and like started looking at music within the lens of sports. You know, all these labels are just sports teams or sports leagues, and like all the artists are just like individual players and stuff, and they like go from different place to place and like work with different people, you know.
Yeah. And you see things like that.
Yeah, and starting to like understand like, oh, there's like a network to these things. And then movies are obviously like that. Of like, oh, there's associations built from up top, and like all these individuals work within the system and stuff. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tickles all the Kevin.
Yeah. So this is it makes sense why all these things are connected.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
And you know, for a while I was like, man, I hope me fucking around with these fake leagues, I hope it goes somewhere. True. Like
all this time and energy spent into making all this stuff.
Yeah, like,
and I think, I mean, that's just evidence that like and I'm a firm believer in just like doing what you love, and it will never have a downside.
Yeah.
Like, because it will, like, you'll always find a way to make it applicable in some way. It doesn't have to be a money making way. Like, that's what we always get fucking confused by, is if you're not making money, you're wasting time.
Right.
So always follow what interests you, and it's gonna make sense, and it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like the canary in the cave or whatever. Or no, maybe coal mine. Yeah. I think that's the right analogy of like, you know, kind of just like following blindly. And it's not the right analogy, but
I see what you mean. Going blindly into
yeah, just like
into this, yeah,
just
without knowing
follow.
exactly where you're going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess it's like faith.
yeah,
It,
exactly.
yeah,
Uh-oh,
to get
we've made it.
religious.
We've made it here now.
yeah.
That's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is like you kind of that's the inspiration, right? In creativity is like I don't
Mm-hmm.
have no idea what's happening, but I'm just following this intuition that I have, and
Yeah.
eventually I'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can't really, it can't be like results driven.
No.
Like creativity doesn't work like that. And I mean,
Mm-mm.
in a lot of ways, it is results driven in the
Sure.
big
Yeah.
bad world, and that's how we get what we get, right?
Right.
So, um, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, this is great.
right on. Okay, is there anything else you want to add
To
to
the
the conversation?
conversation. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think we've touched all the great things. I think you did bring up a point of like in a couple weeks a decision will be made or like something will happen.
Yeah, I think December 19th, Warner Brothers will have to. We're recording this on December 10th.
Yeah.
So they will have to reply to or give an answer to, respond, that's the word, respond to Paramount's deal.
Hostile bid.
Yeah, exactly, bid. So we'll see where things go. Things are going to change in the next couple of weeks pretty fast.
Yeah.
And especially within the next year.
Yeah.
A lot is going to happen. I bet you'll see some strikes getting prepared.
Yeah.
It's going to get funky. It's going to get ugly.
It's gonna get funky. Yeah.
Funky.
Yeah, I think it will get worse before it gets better.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we'll know when we're there.
Yeah. When
We're
there,
not
I
there
mean, we did pretty damn close. There were literal fires burning in Hollywood.
yet. Yeah. It has to.
But
people have to sadly get kind of hurt for it to really like. It's got to hit a lot of people, and
yeah. I mean, it did. That last strike fucked over a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah. And have another one so soon would be
devastating.
I mean, it also could destroy the unions too.
Exactly.
Like because they're also going to start like you start to run out of goodwill, and like all of these things. It starts to get really ugly.
Yeah.
And so, God, the fight doesn't stop.
No. Evil never takes a day off.
Yep, that's what it is. When you are resting, there's some really great saying. Yeah. I don't remember, but they were working.
Yeah. They work twice as hard or whatever.
Yeah. Something. I don't give a fuck because I'm going to work as hard as I want.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, hard work. Yeah. It's just like, I think the idea is we have to, stay conscious and dedicated to the mission,
Yeah.
Because like we can't take good things for granted, even if we have them in place. Like they can always be taken away and changed, like always, as we've seen. Okay.
Right on.
On a happy note.
On a happy note, we also fixed the problem, so that's great.
Yeah, we did fix it. So
we did fix it.
Hit me up, whoever is in.
Yeah, I was about to say, whoever are you?
Who would be? I guess like Congress.
The person to. Yeah, I guess. Ew.
Senate.
Yeah. I wish we had like a. Yeah, I wish like we had a really cool governor in California. Like that'd be a really good place to go to. I would think.
Yeah. I think it needs to be like a nation thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's got to go a little bigger, but you got to like. I feel like someone, could do something brave.
Gavin.
It won't be Gavin.
You think old boy Gavin?
He's not. He doesn't. Yeah, no, he's not. He's not going to help. He's got other aspirations, and he doesn't really like to rock the boat in any way.
Yeah. True.
He just likes to meme, I guess, nowadays.
I know he's on a hella podcast and everything.
I know it's getting ridiculous.
He's really pushing this Prezi thing. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I mean he's going for it.
Yeah.
He's like the number one like.
Dem.
Yeah, that's gonna really swing for it.
Yeah. Good luck to him. Buena suerte.
Yeah, so uninspiring. Oh well.
Yeah, but we could start a rap lobby lobbyist.
Yes, exactly. The wine, reel, and print lobby. I like it. You're like, who the fuck are these?
A super PAC.
Yeah, a super PAC. We have like $5. Who wants it? If too many of you ask, we'll have to split it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's funny.
All right on, Kevin.
Okay.
It's always
great.
a pleasure.
Yeah. This was
folks,
a fun one.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
Oh yeah, sign off.
It's always good to go in the topics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got to sign off. Folks, thank you for listening. We love you very much. And see you next time. Bye-bye. That's a wrap.
Bye.
Wind Reel and Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions.
You can find us on Instagram at Wind Reel and Print Pod.
You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts.
And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review.
We'll see you next time.